Hey there. Hey, buddy. Hey, you guys. Thanks for jumping on. And thank you so much for watching the videos and commenting and liking, and for all the messages that you've sent, Facebook messages and emails and text messages and stuff that you've sent saying how much you're enjoying some of our posts and it's brightening up your day, or you tried my Trot videos and really enjoyed it, felt like you made some progress, or maybe identified some weaknesses and have some inspiration for riding. Thank you for those. Thanks for taking the time to send those, and we really appreciate that. That's why we're doing this. So we're in Ontario, and right now we're in a lockdown. And when we were quarantined the first time, we did 30 seconds of peace every day. So we took 30 seconds of video somewhere on the farm just to help everybody relax a little bit and touch in with the farm and just have a break from all of the COVID stuff. And when we knew that there was a second lockdown coming, we thought we were going to need to do more than that. We're going to need to do more than just 30 seconds of peace. We're going to have to step it up our game, and bring you some value and more of a distraction, and just help you get ready for 2021 and whatever she brings. So thank you for watching all of those and commenting. Thanks for being here tonight. And one of the messages that I got a few times with the Trot videos were cute messages like, oh, my horse only has 1 speed, or we can only get up to a 4, or my horse is a lesson horse and doesn't like to go fast. And I see that all the time. I teach a pile of lessons, so I see it all the time. And I think most of the time, the way to fix it is the same. But let's just talk for a minute about trying to identify what the problem is. Because normally when somebody's here for a lesson, that's the part that I do. Kind of instinctively is try to figure out what exactly the problem is. Most of the time we solve the problem the same way, but let's talk about that for a second. So it's that question that we all have a love-hate relationship with, and that is it me or is it my horse? So if you're watching and you know that it's you, or you know that it's your horse, then you could comment and just let me know which one that is. So let's talk about that first. So let's talk about if it's the horse that doesn't want to speed up and doesn't get beyond a 4 out of 10 or a 6 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10 or wherever you feel stuck. And if you haven't seen the videos yet, the link's posted all over our page. But basically what I'm talking about is when we do this trot exercise, I don't even want to say imagine, because most of the time we do have 10 speeds. And in the video, I'm showing 10 speeds. But let's say we have 10 speeds, and a 3, a 2, a 3 is kind of usually where people are, when they push their horse out into a jog, unless it's something that really likes to be quick. Most of the horses that I have come in for lessons, they start out in a jog at about a 3. So if we're saying that my horse can only get to a 4 or can only get to a 7, it means that somebody is struggling to get their horse to really speed up and give us that beautiful, stretching, almost running trot that is so pleasant to watch. Like, let's say in a ranch riding pattern where those horses are just stretching out and striding out, and it's beautiful and it's exciting to watch. So if we're having a hard time getting our horses to speed up, and we are going to say that it's the horse. Okay, so sometimes it's the horse, sometimes it's the rider. What can we do for that? So the first part that we need to kind of diagnose and check is my horse comfortable? Okay, so is my horse, sorry you guys, I have to switch hands because my hands get really cold here. Is my horse comfortable? Is he sound? So if we're gonna ask him to like really run and trot, then he better be comfortable. He better be, you know, is there anything else we can do for him soundness wise? Is there, look at this goofball. Is there anything else we can do to make him more comfortable? So does he need shod? Okay, that's a big one. Does he need a little bit of bute? Is he old? Does he need some Previcox or does he need some bute? Should I maybe look into some more joint supplements? Is he suffering from some ulcers or some kind of gastric issues? Especially this time of year when horses are standing still a lot and eating a lot of dry food. Sometimes they can get a little bit of an upset gut or get some ulcers going. And if they have a sore belly, you can imagine they don't want to trot. They don't want to stretch out and trot. So those things are super important. And saddle fit. Like if you watch those videos, hello from the north. Hi, Tanya. Oh yeah, and that's you. Julie, that's you, the slow horse. Okay. So saddle fit. If you watch those videos, and you watch the 10 out of 10, and you'll see the horse that I was riding is stretching right out across her whole back and her whole top line. She's reaching with her shoulders. She's pushing from her hind end. She's stretching all the way across her back. She's not going to do that if she's uncomfortable. Okay, so if her saddle doesn't fit properly. So let's just, I mean, I'm assuming that most of you guys who are saying that my horse doesn't want to go, you've addressed these issues already. I hope you have. If you haven't, then let's just let this serve as a reminder. Just double check, make sure that anything that you can do to make your horse more comfortable, that you're doing it. Okay, so if we're saying that it's the horse, so if you've eliminated all of those things and you're saying like, you know, my horse had a full soundness exam and he's great and I have him on a great joint supplement and I know my saddle fits and, you know, all the things. He's outside a lot. He's, you know, eating wet hay and there's no gastric upset whatsoever. But he doesn't like to go. Okay. Then where we run into with this is the overlap with the rider, I think. So is it that he doesn't like to go, or is it that you don't really like to go and you haven't been making them? Okay, because even a horse who really likes to go, if you're not making them go, if you're not letting them stretch out, get somewhere, have some fun, cover some ground, every time that you ride them, then they're gonna get sticky. They're gonna slow down. A lot of times they kind of check out mentally. And then when you do ask them to go faster, they feel stuck and they'll give you some resistance. So swish their tails and pin their ears and just not, I sometimes say that they feel entitled. They don't feel like they have to go fast, but we do have to be very careful about attaching human characteristics to horses. So is it that he hasn't been going fast and he's just out of the routine of going fast and he just feels uncomfortable about going fast? And usually, like I said, this is where it crosses over with the rider, because usually it's a habit that the rider has created where, you know, if you're surprised that there were 10 speeds in a trot, you probably haven't been sending your horse all the way and slowing them down all the way, you know, and working all of those stages, which I think is really important. to be able to do. So if you get out here and every single time you ride, you're riding at a 4 out of 10, and then all of a sudden one day you're saying, okay, I want a 6, I want a 7, I want an 8, I want a, your horse is kind of like, what in the world? You sure, lady? And then if we go back again to whether it's the horse or the rider, if the rider doesn't like speed, doesn't feel comfortable there, doesn't feel fit there, so gets tired really quickly there and then just doesn't want to do it, has a little bit of fear, loses their steering, loses some control at speed, any of those things are things that make it more challenging. Those are the things that make it so that, you know, the horse doesn't want to go. I wouldn't want to go. You know, if the person who was on my back was holding the reins kind of tensely and kicking me forward, but as soon as I started to go a little bit, kind of checking me back a little bit, if I was that horse, I wouldn't want to go either. So the way to tackle it, okay, here's the tactical advice portion of the program tonight. The way to tackle it, if it's your horse, deal with the stuff, deal with the soundness, deal with the saddle fit, deal with, you know, if you cannot ride and get your horse up to speed regularly, you know, you're legitimately scared or it hurts you, okay? For some people I know, if they're experiencing pain in their joints, it physically hurts them to trot fast. You can do it on the lunge line. Having your horse practice stretching out and going at speed on the lunge line is good. Controlled, okay? So not just like ripping around on one side of the circle and then slowing down and trying to do whatever on the other side of the circle, but like send them out, make them power trot or make them power lope on the lunge line. That will help for your horse. That will help your horse to get into that frame of mind of, hey, I got to loosen up everything. I got to really participate here and I got to go. Okay? So that's part of one of the things that you can do. The other thing you got to do is you got to keep practicing it. Get out of my face, buddy. You got to keep practicing it. So if you want for your horse to be able to do 10 speeds in a trot, you're going to have to get into it a lot. You're going to have to practice it over and over and over again. It's like the same thing with everything else with our riding. It's not just going to magically happen. We have to work at it. And like that horse that I rode in those videos, yeah, I haven't ridden her for, I don't know, 4 years or something like that. But Jory's been riding her. Jory's been riding her just about every day. And Jory works that trot all the time. So that mare was practiced in those things. And that's a huge part of it. That's a huge part of, you know, getting a lazy horse to feel motivated is making them go. Sounds silly, sounds like almost too basic, but if they're lazy and you let them just be lazy and just, you know, walk and jog slow and lope slow and then put them away, you're not making it any better. A lazy horse will do better if you speed them up, have a little bit of fun, send them, you know, not for a long time, but you help them get fit so that it's not so tiring for them when they do go. Okay? So you can lunge them, you can send them forward on the lunge line. You have to practice. You have to practice sending them when you're riding them. And then the other part of it is for a lazy horse, I probably wouldn't do it exactly the way that I did in those videos where I went all the way up and all the way down and all the way up and all the way down. And I kept her trotting. I think I kept her trotting for quite a while. I can't remember how that translates exactly to the videos, whether it appears that I'm trotting for a really long time, but with a lazier horse, when you kick him forward and he's kind of resisting and you kick him forward, sometimes they'll be kind of resistant and then they'll almost kind of lurch forward. You got to make sure you don't pull him back. You got to be prepared for that little bit of extra energy, a little bit of extra impulsion or push or whatever. whiplash. You can't pull on their face there. And then you don't have to go at speed for very long before you quit. Okay, so with a lazy horse, you don't want to get them into it and then go and 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 go until they're so tired, and then give them a break and then try to do it again. You want to send them out, get them feeling like they're forward off of your leg. Okay, so you have to be able to use your verbal command, use your leg, get the forward that you want, and then you don't have to keep them there for very long. If I was riding a really lazy horse, I cued with my verbal command, used my leg, and they willingly went forward into a nice trot, I'd probably hum and quit right away, pet them, let them walk for a sec, and then try it again, and then build up how long I'm keeping them at speed over the course of a few rides or a few weeks or what have you, depending on, you know, a lot of things like how old the horse is and what kind of shape they're in and all that kind of stuff. But get them into it, you know, make them go, and then let them have a break, and then make them go again, and then let them have a break. I think those are super, super important. So that's 3 things, right? You can do it on the lunge line a little bit if you have to. You have to practice it, like every single time you ride. You've got to get them going. Don't keep them in it for very long. And then this horse that I'm walking out is getting bored of me talking. And then the other part is how you use your leg. So what I see a lot of times with people when they want their horse to go faster is they get really rigid in the body. So they're maybe a little bit stiff, could be that they're just inflexible, could be that they're just a little bit uncomfortable. At speed, like this time of year when we got all the long underwear on and pants are fitting a little bit tighter and stuff, it's easy to feel stiff. Back up, pal. So if we're feeling kind of stiff, we want to try to loosen up our bodies. And then when you're using your leg, you don't want to squeeze. On a lazy horse, you don't want to squeeze and leave the leg on, okay? Squeezing is for softer, gentler pressure. Squeezing is for when your horse is responsive. If your horse is not going, you're asking them to go and they're not going, you need to use intermittent pressure, okay? Whether you got a spur on or not. I know a lot of people think, well, I have a spur on, so I'll just press my spur into them. But you shouldn't be using your spur for speed. Your spur should be used for direction, lifting the belly, moving the hip in, that kind of stuff. Your leg needs to move intermittently for forward motion. So you could try like a tap, 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 or a bump, bump, or a kick, or a slap with the reins on the hind end, and make sure that you're tying a verbal command to it. So you cluck or kiss or whatever your cue is for the jog 1 time, and then you follow up with the physical pressure until you get a response. So you don't go to get the difference of a 5 to a 6. You might cluck 1 time, and then you're going to apply your leg. It might start gently, and then it might get really, really assertive. It might get really vigorous. But you got to keep it on until they respond, until they go forward. Then you can start all over again being gentle, but you have to go to that intermittent leg pressure to get them going. Okay? And then if we're going to get even more specific than that, if you're trying that, it's not working, or your horse is pinning their ears a little bit, or swishing their tail, or just they've kind of capped off at a certain speed, you can try, as long as your body is aligned, you can try taking your legs, both of your legs, back a little bit from where they normally would sit and applying the leg there. So I don't mean like contort your body and get tipped forward, but if you can draw both of your legs back a little bit, and just press like an inch and a half behind where you normally would, sometimes that's enough to make a horse feel like going forward. And then the same thing, you got to keep it on until they go. So I'm just going to keep going here and hope that I'm answering your questions. I need to start a podcast. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm just barely getting by with these Facebook Lives, Emily. The saying, ride for perfection, is something I try to maintain in all my rides. Yeah, ride for progress. Ride for progress. Perfection, I don't know if it's a thing or not with riding. Never seen it yet. Hey, Victoria. These are good. Thanks, you guys. It's way better having comments than feeling like I'm just talking to my own face. Okay, so the other part of a lazy horse is that a lot of times you'll get to, you'll just barely get into like a 6 and they'll start loping. So you'll just barely get, to where you feel like you need to start posting and they'll break into the lope. And a lot of times, that happens a lot with horses that we see because so many of them are quarter horses and they're reiners and they're bred to lope, not trot. So the trot really is something that we have to, switch hands again here. The trot is something that we really have to manufacture, right? We have to develop it. So if you have a horse that's just barely getting to where you think like, okay, this is starting to qualify as like a medium jog or a medium fast, and they start to break into the lope, we have to kind of acknowledge that a lot of times that's what they've been taught. The reiners, that's what they've been taught, right? Don't trot, lope. And that's how they've been bred, is to lope, not to trot. That being said, we want to encourage the development of that trot. And the best way to do that is to, when they break, okay, we're still talking about lazy horses here. So let's say I push to like a 6 and my horse breaks into a lope. The last thing that I want you to do is pull them with both reins back to like a walk or a stop and a back up, or a stop, a back up, and a turn, okay? We want forward motion. We just want the horse to be more dialed in to what rhythm we want. Okay, does that make sense? So if we are asking for a 6 or a 7 out of 10, our body can't just be saying bump, bump with the leg, hey, go faster. Our body has to be saying 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. All the joints have to be working together to create that rhythm that we want so that the horse knows that's the rhythm that we want. And if they break into the lope, instead of pulling them down, instead of saying like, no, going forward was not the right thing, checking them back, making them feel less like going forward. Okay, remember, this is just for a lazy horse. Instead of checking them back, when they break into the lope, I want you to hold your posting. It's going to feel super wonky, very discombobulated. You're going to feel ridiculous at first. I want you to hold your posting. Okay, so they're loping. You're still going up, down, up, down, up, down. And you're going to check back with your reins, just kind of bump and interrupt that lope rhythm until they come back to your posting trot. Okay, so I'm pushing like a 6 or a 7. I'm up, down, up, down, up, down. My horse breaks into the lope. If I sit and let my seat just slide along with the lope, then my horse has got positive feedback. I've made it more comfortable for him to do the wrong thing. Why would he choose to stay in the posting trot if it's not in his nature? If I'm making it comfortable for him to lope. Do you know what I'm saying here? So I have to make it comfortable for him to do the right thing. And I have to be giving the message all the time. So if I want to trot and I'm 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 with my body up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and he breaks into the trot, and I stay up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and just bump with the bridle a little bit until he comes back to me, then I haven't interrupted the forward motion. I've still got that forward motion from my leg. And I'm teaching him, you got to pay more attention to my seat because I'm telling you what to do with my seat. And it's reestablishing to that horse that I'm always going to tell you what to do with your body, okay? It gets them more dialed into your seat and your body and your rhythm so that it's not just, hey, speed up and go faster, stop, turn, whatever. It's, this is the rhythm that we're moving in. You follow it. I'll give you the direction the whole time I'm on your back. All you got to do is pay attention to that, okay? And then it's on us as riders. It's our responsibility to make sure that we do that all the time, right? Lazy horse. Jen's saying lazy horse that wants to lope instead of hit that 7th trot gear. Yeah, you're not alone, Jen. So I hope that was helpful. And that if you have more questions about that you'll let me know. I'm going to be back on again. I'm going to be back on Saturday. Wild Saturday night. Last Saturday night during lockdown. I'm going to be Facebook Live teaching. And on Saturday, I'm going to talk about the ranch riding and how to use this trot exercise, this 1 to 10 in the trot, how to use that exercise to practice for the ranch riding. And I'm excited for that. That's going to be cool. And then I'm going to be on again next week on Wednesday to talk about getting all of your joints in sync more. So where I was just talking about creating that rhythm through the lope, I want to talk a little bit more about your joints and what your body is actually doing in the jog. So when I'm saying jog, I mean sitting, and in the trot, you know, you guys have seen the video I like to post. I want to talk about what the body needs to be doing to create that rhythm. Okay? So I hope that you guys will jump back on with me on Saturday. We're going to do, so Saturday I'll touch on ranch riding. Tuesdays at 7 every week till lockdown's over. And then I think we'll continue it after that. We'll just have to change the times. But Tuesday at 7 is when we answer questions. So when you guys send in questions, Tuesday at 7 is when we answer those. And then I'll be on again Wednesday. So you're really going to have a lot of ways to use these trot exercises, I think. Okay, let me just check in here with questions. If you guys have any last minute questions, just let me know. Looking forward to that. You have a young quarter horse that you're hoping to do ranch riding with. Great. Perfect timing. Have you done it yet? Who's saying that? Danny, have you done it yet? It's really fun. Ranch riding, yay. Marking the calendar. All right, you're going to have a wild Saturday night with me, Emily. Need to figure out how to post effectively in the trot to influence the horse rather than her influence you. Okay, Laura, I'm glad that you said that because I can help with that. I will touch on that. Okay, next week on Wednesday, I will touch on that a little bit more so that you have some ideas because I got some ideas for you to help you with that. You get her to like 5 out of 10 and you're out of breath. So yeah, like fitness is a real thing with riding. And it sometimes I think it's maybe deceiving because not all riders have the same bodies, you know, especially Western riders. I'm thinking like, you know, the reining and the cow horse, there's a lot of different body types in there, but don't be deceived. It takes a lot of fitness to do, to ride. So if you're getting out of breath at a 5 out of 10, I would come at it from two directions. One would be trying to make that posting trot more efficient so that you're not getting out of breath and getting tired. And the other is your fitness off the horse. Like, I don't know if it's age or just regular activity level or whatever, but like I feel like once you hit 30, you have to start doing some stuff outside. I shouldn't say that, outside of riding. I even notice it in my students that are in their teens. You know, when you go through that like really big growth spurt and you're like all long and lanky and stuff, they have to work at their fitness because they're just so, bodies are just getting so long that they lose some of that strength, and it's harder to do a posting trot. It's harder to hold the body in the right position in the lope, all kinds of things. So anyways, fitness for riding is important. Lots of watching videos. Okay, so you haven't, Danny, I'm guessing that means you haven't shown it. You've just been watching videos. Yeah, the ranch riding is really cool. We've got all of our clinics lined up, and they're going out to our email list tomorrow. So if you guys are not on the email list, then get on there, because our clinics are going out tomorrow. I don't know what the restrictions are going to be, how many people we're going to be allowed, even if we're going to be allowed to do them, but we're just going to go ahead and book them, because I know you guys need time to plan and need some stuff to look forward to. And last time they opened up lockdown, and it was just like full steam ahead. You know, limitations for how many people we could have, but it was like all of a sudden we were just open and we could go ahead and work again. So you're excited for the Saturday Facebook Live too. Yeah. So Linda, your horse would fit into, well, yeah, all three of these will probably be good for you guys, because Titus is probably on the lazier side rather than the excited side. The ranch riding and the body rhythm stuff, I hope I have some good stuff to chat to you about for that. Okay, Christine, if you want to get on the email list, if you have signed up for the videos, then you're already on. If you haven't signed up for the videos, sign up for the videos, because then you get the videos and then you're on the list. And the other thing that I'm going to do, you guys, is there were enough of you that were interested in these follow-up lives that I'm going to save them, and then I'm going to send them out in an email as well. So if you're not able to ride right now, you'll be able to stash the videos with the audio lesson, and then you'll be able to stash these lives. So you'll have the videos and the audio lesson in one email, and then you'll have another email with these lives that you can go back to whenever you are allowed to ride, or whenever the weather is warm enough for you to ride. So you'll have this whole package with this trot exercise. This should give you a whole bunch of inspiration. You should be able to use that trot exercise over and over and over and over again, just practicing the 1 out of 10. And then if you have a lazy horse, implementing some of the stuff we talked about tonight. And if you're doing the ranch riding stuff, that's going to be neat. And the body rhythm stuff every single time you ride, I think. Okay, great. Danny, your horse is only coming to be 2 in May. Okay, so you're not ready to show yet. Just getting them broke. Shoot, it's not letting me see the rest of your message here. Oh, yes, it is. Okay, cool. Oh, neat. And you have a Hanoverian too. Cool. Pat, the email list wouldn't... Yeah, Pat, you're already on there. Did you get... I'll message you. Make sure that you're getting everything. But you're already on there, so you don't need to get on again. I did have a bit of an issue with one of the links being kind of funky. So hopefully that wasn't you, but you are on there. Can hardly wait for Saturday. Yeah, Saturday will be cool. What time will the email be coming out? I will put all 3 of them together into one email. So it'll have to be after Wednesday next week. I'll put all 3 of these together. So probably Thursday or Friday, I'll stick that all together and send it out. Send it out to you guys. I don't want to blast you with too many emails. I appreciate, you giving me your email. So I don't want you to feel like you're getting spammed. And we do have the email going about the clinics, and then I'll have this email with all of the lives. Yeah. Okay. if there are no more questions, then I'm going to sign out. I'm going to finish my ride. I was partway through my ride and noticed that it was 7 o'clock. So I'm going to get back on and work on my own posting trot and my own maneuvers, get this guy going. And I will talk to you guys on Saturday night. Get your keyboards ready, because I love it when you're asking questions and waving and all of those things. Oh, Amy, no problem. Do what I can. I feel like we just have to, it's 2021, and we just have to make the best of it, right? So I never thought I would be teaching lessons online, but here I am. You missed the middle part. Okay, Julie, it's going to be saved on the Facebook page. As soon as I'm done here, it gives me the option to save it and share it on the Facebook page. So I'm going to do that. So you can watch it again right now. But yeah, I'll send that out in an email. Okay, thanks guys. That was fun. Thank you for jumping on and engaging with me. And let me know how it goes. If you get a chance to try some of this stuff, let me know how it goes. Okay, bye.